everybody, and welcome to another edition of Podium Picks. Sean Woodland and Tommy Marquez here inside the Whoop Studios. How you feeling today, Tommy? Are you ready for this one? Because we got a really impressive guest who's going to, bring the thunder here.
Yeah, last Monday was International Women's Day, so we figured we should have a Podium Picks that followed suit and paid homage. And so, we have a trailblazer in the women's side of our sport as well. So I'm pretty excited for what we got in store.
Yeah, well, I am at a 67% recovery for today. Woo. So I'm looking good, feeling good.
87.
Woo! I'm just happy I'm in the green. So hopefully that will serve me well today as we work our way through this draft. As we mentioned, we are in the Whoop Studios. Whoop is the performance tool that's changing the way people track their fitness and recovery and helps them optimize their training. And they are also the official wearable of CrossFit. If you want to get on the Whoop train, go to whoop.com. That's WHOOP.com. Get yourself the Whoop Strap 3.0, the wrist-worn heart rate monitor that measures your heart rate 100 times per second, nonstop, round the clock, 24/7. Pairs to an app on your phone, and you get daily personalized insights and analytics on the big three: strain, recovery, and sleep. The Whoop also automatically detects your workouts, tracks them, lets you know how strenuous those activities are. It is waterproof, has a 5-day battery life, and Whoop still has the special offer for our listeners and friends of the show. Use the code TALKING15, that's TALKING15, to save 15% and optimize the way you train. And later on in the show, we will have our Whoop Podium for day strain on Friday, the day after the open workout was announced, because we assume that's when most people do it. So we're going to see who had the top day strain for the day of Friday. So that'll be fun. All right, let's bring in our guest. She has been to the CrossFit Games 13 times. She is Becca Voigt. Becca, thank you so much for being here. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
We're fantastic. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Before we get started here, I understand, you're going for another individual appearance here. Has that started off for you so far?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm going to give it a go and see what happens. It's going great. I'm really happy with my 21.1, and we'll see what, unfolds for the season, but it started off strong. So that's a good sign.
We are hopefully, fingers crossed, get to see at the CrossFit Games, because it just doesn't seem right to have the games without Becca Voigt in the individual.
100%.
Okay, well, let's start with what we're doing today. Is we're going to be drafting our top female athletes of all time. Okay. Now, Becca, the way this works is we always allow our guests to choose where he or she wants to pick. So you can choose first, second, or third. This works like a fantasy football draft where, you go 1, 2, 3, and then the next round is 3, 2, 1, and then 1, 2, 3, and so forth. So if you do choose to pick first, there will be 4 picks made before it comes back to you, but then you get the back-to-back picks. So strategy is involved here. So we'll let you choose where you want to start, and then Tommy and I will flip a coin to determine where we're going to go.
I'd like to go second.
Oh, the second. Okay.
The second.
That's it. All right, here we go. So this will be white side will be heads. This will be tails. Tommy will call it in the air.
Heads.
It is tails.
Ooh.
I just dropped the coin. It's great hands there. Okay, so I get to choose. I'm going to go third.
Oh.
Third. So Tommy will go first.
Okay.
So I need to get some notes up here so I can. You got to keep track of the draft.
Okay.
So Tommy's up first, kicking off our famous female athlete draft.
All right. So I feel like I was actually kind of hoping for the first overall pick.
Oh,
because to me, there's a clear, this is tough. And this is a recency bias too. There's a clear 1-1 pick for me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not only is this woman considered one of the greatest female athletes of all time, I think she has a case for the greatest athlete of all time when considering her career resume. And to me, that's Serena Jamaica Williams.
Serena Williams.
Yes.
Of the Williams sisters. That's a good one. That's a very good pick.
I think that you go based off of all of her stats. And when you consider the GOATs in sports and their impact and all the things that they've done, I think culturally, the shift that the Williams sisters provided in tennis that has, paved the way for new stars like Naomi Osaka, who just recently won the Australian Grand Slam. And then you look at overall what she's done in her career, front to back, doubles titles, singles titles. She's got an 85% win career record. She's got 73 total titles across her career. I mean, she's obviously won every single Grand Slam out there. She's gonna end with the record when she's all said and done. And you look at her relevancy as an athlete still at the age of 39, which you see tennis players typically start very young. And then, you know, the longevity becomes an issue as they move on later into their age. You look at even someone like Rafael Nadal or Roger Federer, who are considered towards the edge of their career on the backside of it. Roger Federer is, you know, the same age as Serena Williams, and she looks like she has way more runway in front of her. So I think that's impressive as well in terms of longevity. To me, I mean, I don't see anyone that is as dominant as a force of nature in the modern era of women's sports like the way that she has. And then I think she's just become a sports icon all the way around. So I'm going to take Serena Williams.
That's a good pick. Definitely revolutionized the game of tennis. All right, Becca, you're up next with your first pick.
All right. I also am going to stay in the tennis world. And my picks are more of like who impacted the sport. And I agree Serena Williams is a part of this, but really has made some headway to really pave the road, not only for your same sport, but also women's sports in general. And so my first pick is Billie Jean King. I think she's a crusader of equality and social justice, not to mention she has basically won, I think, over 35 Grand Slam titles. She's won singles, doubles, mixed doubles. I mean, there really wasn't a lot that she couldn't do. And I really feel like during her, peak, she really had to really jackhammer her way into the light and prove that she could be amongst the best in both women and men. So I think that was so impactful.
She beat Bobby Riggs.
Yeah.
That was huge when that happened. So you see, I should not have gone third. I will have to cross that one off of my list. All right. So, but now I get my back-to-back picks now. So let's see. Where am I going to go? Because Becca just the person I was going to say. Stupid Becca Voigt ruined anything. I'm going to take, I had it up here. Well, okay. I'm going to go with another athlete who I think is considered to be the greatest of all time in her respective field, and that is Jackie Joyner Kersey.
Oh, yeah.
Won 3 Olympic gold medals, 1 silver and 2 bronze, attended the University of California at Los Angeles, where she competed for women's both track and field and basketball team, 2-sport athlete there at UCLA, 80 to 85. And then in 1988, she was named as one of the 15 greatest players in UCLA women's basketball. And in 2001, she was voted the top woman collegiate athlete for the past 25 years by members of the NCAA. So 2-sport athlete, accomplished 2-sport athlete, and just dominant. Silver medal in the heptathlon at the 84 Summer Olympics, gold and bronze medals in the long jump in 88 and 92. She is currently the heptathlon world record holder, scoring 7,921 points, setting a record in the heptathlon 4 times during the 1988 Summer Olympics. So that's going to be my first pick. It's going to be Jackie Joyner Kersey.
I'm going to pump up your pick a little bit because I was doing some research, and we actually talked about Jackie Joyner Kersey, I think, on a previous Podium Picks back in the day. And I think like her record in the heptathlon is something that like nobody's going to touch.
Yeah.
That when you talk about like greatest records, that's something that like everyone's just like, well, this one's over.
Yeah.
She hit that, and everyone just kind of like, I was a young lad in the late 80s, early 90s. I remember people talking about that, like when it came, like always talking about the heptathlon and everything like that, and her, how dominant she was, particularly in 92 in Barcelona, I believe, which was her last Olympic Games. And she won the gold in heptathlon. And yeah, my mom just pointing that out and being like, pay attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, pay attention to that athlete. She's an all-timer.
Yeah. So my second pick, I feel like since Becca took who I was going to take with one of these, I am going to go sort of with the woman who I think followed on Billie Jean King's heels as one of the most dominant tennis forces that we have ever seen. And that's Martina Navratilova. Yeah. She, from the 70s and 80s, I mean, she was unstoppable. She was, started playing tennis when she was 4. At 7, she started playing daily. By the age of 9, she was taking lessons from Czech champion George Parma. And by 16, she was a pro. And in fact, Billie Jean King, the former #1 player in the world, said that Navratilova is, quote, the greatest singles, doubles, and mixed doubles player who's ever lived. So pretty high praise from an icon. She won 18 Grand Slam titles, including an all-time record 9 at Wimbledon, 4 U.S. Opens, 3 Australian Opens, 2 French Opens. She remained #1 for 332 weeks after winning a Grand Slam title on July 10th, 1978 at Wimbledon. So I couldn't get Billie Jean King, but I'm going to grab Martina Navratilova, who Billie Jean King said was the greatest of all time. So there you go.
Good one.
Yeah. All right. Now we are back to Becca for her second pick.
Oh yeah. Tommy's waiting a long time for this. All right. Well, my second pick is going to be somebody. Well, I'm going to say this first. I could pick anybody from the 99 World Cup team. And we're going to soccer. Okay. And I'm going to be choosing Mia Hamm for the greatest of all time.
Nice.
Within this pick. I mean, if you look at her record before 2013, she had the most international goals scored by a man or a woman. And she is still third in that standing, but she's behind Abby Wambach and another striker from Canada, Christine Sinclair. So I thought that was pretty interesting when I read that. And then not to mention that the equal pay that they're still fighting for with Brandy Chastain and Julie Foudy and all of the 99ers is super impressive. I mean, the women's soccer hands down polls more fans than the men do, and still have to have multiple jobs just to pay for their passion and this professionalism. And that's really unfair. And so I really think that they're doing the best they can. I know that they're still involved in a lawsuit, and they're still to this day really fighting for all the rights of young women in soccer and other sports, which is super impressive, which Billie Jean King is also a part of that.
Yep. There's a member of that team that Mia was on that graduated from my college, and she was a coach and for the women's team. And I was friends with quite a few of the women's soccer team. And so I got to see them around, and I believe Mia came to one or two of the games. And she was super nice. And she was one of the people, like athletes you meet that like make an immediate impression on you. So, yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Well, you're up now. Back to back here.
Yes. So I'm going to shift gears on the sport here. And I am going to go with the sport that is nearest and dearest to my heart, and the sport that Miss Becca Voigt may have played in college, which is basketball. And I'm going to go with Lisa Leslie.
Yep, that's a good one.
That was part of mine.
professional basketball player for the WNBA for the Los Angeles Sparks, part of the first ever, I guess you would call it, draft for the WNBA when they began playing in 1997 and they incorporated in 1996. Los Angeles Sparks are kind of one of the kind of core teams of the WNBA, and she was a big part of that. And I also say big part of it because she was the formidable center, right? The 6'5", the 4-time gold medal winner for the Women's Olympics, 2-time world championship, World University Games, Jones Cup. I mean, she was a hometown LA person, went to USC, graduated from high school in Inglewood. She played her entire career basically in the LA area representing that. Loyalty to your hometown and area goes a long way for me, on top of all of the accolades and things that she earned. And when I think about like and I can't speak to this, obviously as a female athlete, but I remember the impact that it had on me in general as a basketball player. I think there's the video, the first time she dunked in a game.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, I think she
was the first woman to dunk in a game. That, like, to me, that like blew the doors open for a lot of women's basketball players as far as like, whoa, okay, that's a threshold that maybe not fairly was held above some of the athletes in that arena. And then she blasted right through it. And now you have, Brittany Griner and some of these other tall, athletic, above the rim players for female basketball that I think are kind of offshoots of that, or a direct result of what Lisa Leslie did. I mean, you look at her career highlights, she's a 2-time WNBA champion, 2-time finals MVP, 3-time league MVP, 8-time All-Star, 3-time All-Star game MVP. She's all NBA first team 8 times, all NBA second team 4 times, which spans the entirety of her career now. Defensive player of the year twice, defensive first team twice, defensive second team twice, peak performer. She's considered one of the top 15 players of all time. And I think just her general impact in that was very, very big. And it's one that actually, impacted me as a player. And I remember specifically seeing when that dunk happened and being like, oh, wow. And going up and just getting stuffed by the rim afterwards and be like, oh, guess I'm not there yet.
Oh, man, that's a good, she's one that when she's on the court, like, oh, something good's going to happen now.
Yep.
All right. Now you have your second pick. We'll finish up round 3 and then we'll do our whoop podium. So this is round 3 here.
This is the crux of my draft. I think
this is where you make your money usually.
This is tough. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm a big fan of trailblazers, and I'm gonna go with Nadia Komanichi.
Oh, that's a really good one.
For gymnast, she was a Romanian gymnast, and she was the first gymnast ever to record a perfect 10.
Yeah.
In I'm trying to remember at the Olympic Games in 1976, I think, in Montreal. She also received 6 more perfect 10s en route to winning 3 gold medals. So not only did she kind of, break this threshold, she just destroyed it. She took a sledgehammer to it and just completely went to the moon.
Yeah.
And it's funny, there's something to be said. We talk about virtuosity in our sport quite a bit because there's a gymnastics element to it. And you can go back and watch the first perfect 10 score that she had in that games. And, there's that saying, like, it's hard to define it, but you know it when you see it. You watch that and you're like, that is poetry in motion. And I think that, like, from such a highly skilled and sometimes subjective discipline like gymnastics, when you have the judging scoring system, you see that and everyone's just like, there's no doubt, just pack it in, shut it down. She won. I think that goes a long way. And especially for now with the kind of growth of women's gymnastics in the public eye, with athletes like, it was Gabby Douglas before, and like, Ali Reisman, and I'm totally spacing right now. Simone Biles. Mary Lou Retton too, with the broken leg. But all of those athletes that have become like superstars. Nadia Komanichi, to me, like, out of this Romanian Eastern Bloc country that just pure. So that's my pick.
That's a good one. All right. So I just remember Gilda Radner kind of lampooning her during the early years of Saturday Night Live. She did. Check that out if you haven't seen it. All right. So Becca, you're up now with your third pick.
Oh, I mean, my picks are starting to go away.
Ooh, where strategy comes in.
Yeah, I know. Strategy is okay. Well, I'm going to go to something that I know very well, this sport.
Oh,
and this person has occupied the podium many times. She is now a mom, and I am going to go with Annie Thorisdottir.
This is a great pick because know your audience.
Yep.
Yeah. Also someone who has trailblazed the path for many someone who is continually trying to grow with the sport and try to push the sport past what they're capable of, and then showing also this sport what you're capable of after whether it's injury or, you know, lifestyle change, becoming a mom and age. And she's just super impressive. When you think she's out, you know, she turns it around. She always has such a positive attitude. It's infectious. Her smile is infectious, and she never has I've never seen her turn people away when they've wanted a picture or anything like that. So Annie Thorisdottir, you are a part of my list.
Man, that's a sneaky.
You
good
shared
pick.
a podium with her too.
Yes,
in 2011.
I did.
Mm-hmm. That's oh man,
Man.
I might have to reevaluate things.
You said that just kind of just flipped Sean on his head there.
I feel like we just got dunked on.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, so I'll do my one,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll do Whoop. Oh, we got to announce the winner from last week,
Mm-hmm.
or 2 weeks ago, actually. People
Yes.
have plenty of time to vote. Okay, so I am going to go with someone. I'm not a huge fan of this sport, but like Becca, I respect someone who's sort of a trailblazer and sort of moves things to the next level and puts a sport on the map, or, you know, raises the competition around her. And I think that's what Ronda Rousey did. I think Rousey really helped put women's MMA on the map and bring it equal to what, you know, the men were doing. Because I think a lot of times in martial arts, you know, especially in MMA, it seemed like the women's fights were undercards and they were just to get you to the main event. And when she came around, like, she was must-see TV.
Mm-hmm.
You were more interested in what she was doing than, you know, some of the best men were doing. And during her heyday, I mean, she had a string of dominance there that was pretty incredible. And then she went on to do other things, you know, actress, and you know, then she did, you know, had a little stint in the WWE. But anybody who drags the sport into the spotlight and puts it on equal footing with everything else going on, and in fact maybe surpasses the men's division, that's incredible to me. And she certainly did that.
Olympian too.
Yeah, and she can kick some, you know, I ain't gonna mess with her.
If you present your arm to her, she will take it from you.
Yes, she will.
Oh yeah, she was ruthless. I mean, literally, like, you love her, you hate her. She was definitely dominant, and you were right. She was someone you wanted to watch, whether you liked her or you hated her. Man, yeah, she was definitely one of my favorites to watch.
Oh yeah, no, I remember, you know, going to a party where there was a pay-per-view and she was fighting. Everybody was just like kind of not paying attention to what everything else is going on. The second she hit the ring, it was like, bam, here we go. All right, so that's going to close out round 3. So now we're going to do our Whoop podium. So we're going to do day strain for Friday, the what would it be? The day after the 11th? Is that one, or the 12th?
The 12th.
Friday the 12th, because that's the day, was the day after 21.1 was announced. So we are going to do day strain for Friday, March, because I'm assuming that's when most people did the workout. So Tommy, take it away.
Yes, day strain Friday. Oh, come on. There we go. For Friday, March 12th. All right. Some people got after it. Number 1, Adam Deckerol, 20.7. Number 2, Dion Street, 20.7. Number 3, Stuart Young, 20.7.
Wow.
Number 4, Mike Kirkland, 20.7. Holy smokes. Number 5, Joel Toyes, 20.6. Paul Darrance, 20.6. And number 6, Christopher Jacobs, 20.6. Mark Smythe, 20.5. Chelsea Miller, 20.5. And number 10, Cody Galbraith, 20.5. Everyone in our top 10 had a 20.5 or higher day strain. And every single person had at least 3 activities that day.
Sheesh.
Impressive. I mean, we got activities like cycling, CrossFit training, because you can log it now officially. Stuart Young had a day with 5 yoga sessions.
Whoa.
Let's see. Joe had CrossFit training, coaching. Man, he must have really been rooting on that 21.1. Paul Darrance had a golf that logged a pretty heavy activity for him. So nice job. Some cycling, an ice bath. Chelsea Miller got a 2.2 from her ice bath just to put her over the top. So that's some good recovery score too. So well done to everyone, and a good job on that Friday, opening Friday of the weekend for the CrossFit Open.
Okay, now it is time to start round 4. And I'm going to kick that one off, right? I'm kicking off round 4. Okay.
Yep.
So my 4th pick is going to be another trailblazer, and it's a name that I had heard. I've heard before, but then the more I started looking into it, I went, oh man, this okay. All right. So my 4th pick is going to be Wilma Rudolph, an American-born sprinter from Tennessee who became the world record-holding Olympic champion and international sports icon in track and field following her success in the 1956 and 1960 Olympic Games. And if you think of, the environment that we were in this country during those times, for a person of color to do that was pretty incredible. So she was certainly a trailblazer, not only, in sports, probably also in civil rights with the attention that she was garnering. She competed in the 200-meter dash, won a bronze medal in the 4x100 meter relay in the 56 Summer Olympics in Melbourne. Also won 3 gold medals in the 100 and 200 meter individual events and the 4x100 meter relay at the 1960 Olympics in Rome. She was acclaimed the fastest woman in the world in the 60s and became the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in a single Olympic Games. And she has some fantastic nicknames like the Tornado, the Flash, the Track Star, among others. So she is certainly an icon when it comes to not only female athletes, but I think also people of color achieving things, in a time when things were not set up for them to achieve things. So she's going to be my 4th pick, and I think I got a steal.
All right,
I think I got a steal with Wilma Rudolph right there in the 4th round.
That is one where I think, like you said, the more people look into it, they'll be like, oh, yeah, it's just a matter of like time and exposure, right?
Yep. All right, so now we're back. Now we're back to Becca for your 4th pick.
Yeah, my 4th pick is somebody that I watched all through high school and college. Definitely someone who I looked up to playing basketball, someone that I tried to play like, although that was very far-fetched for me. I'm going with Cheryl Swoop.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, man.
And maybe one of the best names out there.
Yes, that's a great guy. You were like born to play basketball with that name.
Yeah,
100%. I just found out she was the first player to be signed to the WNBA, which I thought was a very cool stat. Just kind of put there in her feather in her hat. She's won many gold medals in the Olympics, double titles in the WNBA. She's NCAA championships. She's now the assistant coach at Texas Tech. And just somebody who just was so smooth and just butter when she played. And someone who also was fighting for, rights for women from the beginning. So I think that she's phenomenal.
Epic.
That's a good one.
I was torn between Cheryl Swoops and Lisa Leslie.
Yeah. And I mean, that's 1A and 1B right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Phenomenal.
Ooh. All right. You're up, Tommy. 4th and 5th here.
4th and 5th.
Final 2.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to propose some. Feel free to veto it.
Okay.
I want to draft a pair of athletes.
Oh, you want to draft? I know who you want to draft.
I want to draft Carrie, Walsh, Jennings, and Misty.
You can't take them both.
Okay. That's fair.
Well, I guess
fair.
You know what? You could.
That's fair.
Because this is your 4th and
no, because they would take up 2 picks. I want to take them as one.
No, you can't. No, you have to take them as 2. You can't take them as 1.
Okay, I tried. So I'm gonna go.
That's I may have tried to. I may have thought about that as well.
I'm exactly that, because they've been voted the greatest beach volleyball team of all time. I'm gonna go though with the local pick, little Santa Cruz Loke action. Carrie, Walsh, Jennings.
Okay.
So she was born in Santa Clara, where I went to college. She grew up in Scotts Valley. So she's a Santa Cruz County Loke. I mean, she was Gatorade National High School Player of the Year. She's a 4-year first-team All-American at Stanford. And then when she got into a professional career, that's when things just absolutely took off. You look at 3-time world champion for beach volleyball, three-time Olympic champion, 3 consecutive Olympics in beach volleyball. Probably would have been 4, but Misty May, her partner in crime, retired after London, and she got a bronze the following year. She has won 133 career tournament victories in beach volleyball player as a beach volleyball player, which 133 tournaments is insane. She's the career earnings leader. She has a record win streak of 112 consecutive matches in 19 straight tournaments that lasted a full season.
That's good.
Considering how much they play in beach volleyball, like the fact that you can go a full year and no one just touched you, you're like, oh yeah, those 12 months, that's Carrie Walsh Jennings 12 months right there. Probably the best nickname I've seen. 6 feet of sunshine. That is just,
I might call you that from now on.
I wish that was my nickname. I mean, my uncles have called me 6 feet of something else, but it wasn't kind. It wasn't meant to pump me up. That's for sure. But yeah, I think that she wins out for me over Misty May because of the longevity, and she's still playing, and Misty May has since retired. To me, she's the greatest beach volleyball player, arguably the greatest volleyball player of all time. And I think during the Summer Olympic Games, during the mid to late 2000s and the 20 teens, that became a premier sport in the Olympics to watch because of how dominant they were. And to me, when your exploits in your sport that otherwise didn't get a lot of press became a prominent element of women's sport.
They were in prime time a couple times.
All the time. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was amazing. And I think the way that there's something about beach volleyball too, like it's one of those sports where I feel like they are open and not subdued about their passion for it, like from point to point, like they celebrate a lot. And I just like that environment too. So, and it was, to me, I think that it's hard. You're hard pressed to think that people didn't watch them play and then maybe snuck out to their local beach and maybe tried to see what it was all about, only to be humbled and realize that they make it look so easy. Yeah. And so if I had to pick out of the two, it's going to be Carrie Walsh.
We actually have a friend whose daughter plays beach with her niece. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
how much pressure does that have?
I know.
You're the niece.
Exactly. Yeah. Auntie Carrie's watching. Don't screw this up. She has all these gold medals and want to live up to that. So good luck. All right. So now you get your fifth and final pick for Tommy here.
I've got a tennis, basketball, gymnastics, beach volleyball. They're all a variety of different sports. I don't have a multidiscipline athlete. Right. And I actually think I'm getting a steal in the 5th round.
You always do.
And it's actually not that big of a right-hand turn because an athlete in the sport has already been taken. So I'm going to take Tia Claire Toomey.
Oh man,
pick because and this is here's my draft strategy. I like to think that you're one of the undoubted goats of your sport, whether influentially or from a stats perspective. But Tia's athletic exploits don't stop at CrossFit.
Correct.
She's won more titles than anyone at the game. She's still going. I think she'll retire as the best ever in the sport. But then you look at she's competed in an Olympics in weightlifting, and it looks like she's going to double up on the Winter Olympics too in bobsled. And you start to look at, greatest in her main discipline, has made has qualified for and competed in the Olympics in multiple other disciplines outside of what her natural sport is. And now you start to look at where does she rank as just as far as athletes of all time and being able to do that? There aren't very many athletes that have been able to dip in their toes at the highest level in 3 different sports. And to me, that's just crazy impressive. And I think it might get taken for granted because we're in the process of it, and we haven't had the time to sit and let it evaluate and stew and let it kind of culture on its own, like the legend, if you will, when you separate it and once they step away from the sport. So for me, I'm glad that she was available in the 5th round. I thought that maybe people might look outwardly and I could snag it, but she's easily a top 3 pick for me too.
That's a good one. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I'm clearly not going to win this draft. I think it's between you two. So Becca, you're up with your 5th final pick.
All right. Well, I'm still shocked she's still available. And this is probably one that all of the fans are telling us we should have picked first.
Ooh.
This is a powerful individual. She's 4'8", okay, 4 feet 8 inches in height. And that is Simone Biles.
Yeah.
Now, she's the greatest of all time in gymnastics, but I also am inspired by her because of the voice she's starting to have. I'm not going to go into detail on her accolades. I mean, if you just read the first line of her Wikipedia, she has a total combined 30 Olympic and World Championship medals. That's phenomenal. And what she's doing in the sport is really pushing everyone a little bit more outside their comfort zone, which is super inspiring. But with the things that have transpired in gymnastics, I do believe she is starting to find her voice and find her cause. And I think she's going to do some really great things when she's ready to leave, and even now. And so she is my 5th pick.
That's good, man. Both of you are just finishing strong here.
I'm looking at Bush. That could have been a 1-1
No,
pick
easily.
too. Yeah.
Easily. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So I can either try to like jump on the CrossFit train here. There's certainly some athletes out there.
Are you pandering at this point?
No, I'm not. I'm going to go. So this is where I'm going with my 5th and final pick.
Okay.
It might not be a name that people know, but they should, because everyone we've picked, everyone else has pretty much done what they have done. They've won. Everyone has won gold medals. Everyone has been great in their sports. Everyone has done, been dominant. Everyone has been an icon, but only one woman can be the first to do something, can be the first. You can only say you're the first to ever do something that no woman has ever done before. All right.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going with this? I
think so.
So I'm going to go back in the 90s when the Tampa Bay Lightning, so I'm going to go to the ice. I'm going to go with a passion of mine, hockey.
Oh.
Tampa Bay Lightning were a new team, and they signed a woman by the name of Manon Rhéaume, and she was a goaltender, and she was the first woman to ever suit up and play in a game in one of the 4 major national sports in North America. So she played a couple exhibition games in 92 and 93 for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then spent 5 years in professional minor leagues, playing a total for 7 teams and appearing in 24 games. So she was playing with the guys. Also played on the Canadian women's national ice hockey team. She won gold medals at the World Championships in 92 and 94, and the silver medal at the 1998 Winter Olympics. And then fun fact, I actually had I wouldn't say run-in, but I was I met her. We didn't have like a fit. Yeah, dropped the gloves on it. Yeah, she slashed me in the leg, and I said, I ain't gonna take that. And bam. No, she played for the Sacramento River Rats of the 1990s, now defunct Roller Hockey International League.
Oh.
So I used to go to a lot of their practices because they used to practice at the same rink where I played. So she'd be hanging around. So yeah, she was the goalie for them as well. So that was pretty cool that she has a tie to my hometown. But the very first woman to ever suit up for one of the 4 major sports leagues in North America. Nobody else can say that except for her. And that's pretty impressive. Everyone's gold medals. Everyone's done all that stuff. And nobody has done what Manon Rhéaume has done. She is like the Neil Armstrong. He was first on the moon. She was first in one of the 4 major North American sports. So I'm going to say true to myself. And I got to go somebody in hockey. Haley Wickenheiser was also a candidate as well, because she's totally dominant. Or Cami Granado, I could have taken her, but I got to go with Manon Rhéaume. So that's how we're going to close this one out. But like I said, I think that was kind of an exercise in futility for me, because
that was I'm going to say, Sean, I think you actually pulled me on the last overall pick. Right. Yeah, that's pretty. I did not see that one coming.
All right. That's why I was going to take her third, but I was like, no, they probably don't. Neither one of these 2 are going to take her. So I can probably wait on that one. Get some good Tommy Marquette value in the 5th round.
Some deep knowledge. Yeah. Oh.
So Becca, who are some athletes that maybe you had on your list that you didn't get to take, but are very worthy of being in the top 5?
There's one person that I just currently recently learned about. I'm going to botch this name. Her name's Ibtija Mohammed, and she's a fencer. And she's phenomenal in the sense that she has all the accolades. She's been to the Olympics, but she is the first female to wear her hijab in competition. So that was one thing that when she was a younger athlete, it was very important to her that she was able to wear this when she competed, and she found fencing. That did allow her to continue to keep that on. And she actually turned out to be very good at it and a big student of the sport. And yeah, she still fences saber to this day, but I heard her on a podcast and I was just blown away with her accolades and her fight in that. So she's the one that really stood out for me.
I'll have to look her up.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Fencing is a sport I've always wanted to try. I'm fascinated by that sport.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, it's one of those things where it doesn't look that hard, but there's so much skill, strength, and everything that goes into it.
I don't know. That looks really hard.
I mean, because I don't know. It just wouldn't seem like it would be too athletically taxing, which I know is 100% wrong.
Yeah.
But because then you do it, like you talk to people who do it, it's like really hard.
Oh yeah.
Really hard.
So. I think because everybody growing up grabbed a stick and maybe like tried to fence their buddy or like their younger or older sibling, and but the difference between that and professional level. Yeah. So I was kind of torn on a couple of swimmers, Katie Ledecky and Dara Torres.
Yeah. I had Dara too.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's like Ledecky's story is still being written. She has the most, world championships of any female swimmer. She's got like the fastest times ever in the 500 and like multiple disciplines. She's a multiple time world record holder. I think Dara Torres was I think everyone kind of had their eyes opened about the competitive lifespan of an athlete when they realized her career length and how, and stepping away and coming back and being able to be successful at a high level later on. So those were two that really kind of stood out to me. And I was kind of torn on being able to pick. The one I mentioned earlier, Brandy Chastain.
Yeah, Santa Clara. Was a huge one because that's another one. You just remember that moment.
Yeah.
Like that's so iconic.
Yeah. She went to Santa Clara and she coached at the school, so she was always around. But
had Megan Rapinoe as well.
Yeah,
possibly. She's another one that's just because like Becca said, you can pick anybody on that soccer team.
Totally.
I mean, there's so many that are still writing their story, and it's so cool to be able to witness this.
Yeah, and speaking of still writing her story, Becca Voigt going for 14 games appearances. Would you consider still competing in the Masters division, or are you pretty much focused on individual for this year?
Oh no, I'll take what I can get. Listen, I've been on the podium 3 times, once as an individual and twice as a Masters, all third. And if I never get higher than third, I'm extremely grateful for that, and I will continue to take those. So there's Masters is phenomenal platform for us to continue growing as an athlete. And the competition is not easier by any means. So yeah, of course I'm gonna take Masters. I'll take individual. I'll take both. I don't know.
That's what we like to hear. And just one final question, and then we'll announce the winner from last week, and then we'll end the show. What do you attribute your longevity in this sport?
Oh, I mean, that could be taken to many different ways. I honestly think that I have not put all of myself into the sport. I mean, at some pieces of my career I did, but for the most part, I've had to not take myself so serious and really put a lot of people ahead of me. Members of my gym, I still coach a full-time coaching schedule. And I really think that for me, balance has been the most important part to the longevity of my career. And really just not outdoing it. If I can't get to something in my training because of coaching and otherwise, then it just kind of gets put off to the side until I can get to it. So yeah, I'm going to say balance for me has been huge.
I think that's a good lesson for everybody out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Becca, quick question. Has my cousin Adam gone to the gym at all? Has he stayed away? I didn't make sure if I got to keep track of his fitness.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Okay. Good. He's
a 6 a.m.er.
All right. Yeah. He's
one of those people.
Yeah, he's a driven kid, but he trains at god awful hours. So
okay.
Yeah.
So is he? How old is he?
He is. I think he's 4 years younger than me.
Okay, so he's in his 30s.
Yeah, maybe
No.
even more, maybe even younger. He
Those 6 a.m.
Yeah, he's around 30.
They're hardcore, man. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, they are hardcore, and they don't. It's nice because they don't want to talk. They just want to get to business. It's like the most ideal class to coach because you just get so much done. You have to really give it to them for showing up every single day. They're dedicated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so who won last week? There are a lot of votes here.
Yeah. So this was probably the closest one we've ever had.
No.
We had over 300 votes last week. But
you're gonna go third to first?
I will.
Okay.
Sadly, I was in third place.
Really?
Yep.
Oh man.
Second, Chandler and Sean wins. Oh.
That's a 2-game winning streak.
It was like when I checked a day and a half ago, it was like everyone was in the 30s, or no, it was like between 29 and like 34% or something. It was the closest
Malcolm
of
Reynolds putting me over the top.
Firefly, all the sci-fi people came.
I know how to rally my crew, you know.
Although someone pointed out that the true winner of our captain's draft was Tom Hanks because we drafted all 3 captains that he portrayed in movies.
That's true. We did. Yeah.
But,
man. Okay. Well, I don't think that winning streak's going to continue into this week. So you guys did really well.
So yes, if you guys are listening, you got to go and you got to vote for on our Instagram page on the Podium Picks post that we will put up with this episode to make sure that you get your votes in, whether it's Becca, whether it's me, whether it's Sean. Right now, the career list stands at our guest has won twice. Sean takes the lead with 3, and I've got 2 as well. So if you want to cast your vote, Instagram on the main post that has all of our picks on it and the introduction, and drop it in the comments section.
Yes, and we shall see.
Oh man!
All right. Well, Becca, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it, and best of luck to you this season. And we hope to see you competing in some capacity at the CrossFit Games in Madison.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for listening. Remember, go to our Instagram page, Talking Elite Fitness, when this post is up, and vote in the comment section, and we'll see if I can make it 3 straight. For Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland. Thanks to Becca Voigt so much for joining us. Be better, take care of each other, and we'll talk to you guys next time.